Yo, what's going on, guys? It is JD here, back with sadly not a Nobody Spent episode today. As you can see by the title, we're going for something a little bit different. Not a video I really wanted to be making, not a video I thought I would have to make on 2K21. At this point, I never thought I'd have to make a rant video, but alas, here we are. Now, before we get into it, a bit of positive news. This is my 1000th video number 1000. There we go. I can't speak English. Video number 1000 on the channel, which is absolutely insane. So thank you so much for the support. If you guys didn't support the previous 999, then I wouldn't be here today. So thank you so much for all the support. And yeah, here's to another 1,000 more, I guess. I don't know. We'll see where it takes us. So in this video, we are going to be talking about the state of 2K21 at the moment. Now, a few things I want to get out of the way before I jump into it. This is not a video saying, me personally, I don't like this game and I want it changed just for me. That's not what this is. This is me speaking for, from what I know, a wide portion of the community. This isn't just like, I don't like it, fix it for me. That's not what this is. And it's also not me saying this is a bad game. This is a good game. In terms of like the game modes themselves and the seasons, everything. My team this year is a lot more engaging than it was last year, and I think the additions of things like the Essential board have been awesome. It got the new game modes like Limited and stuff, which we'll get into in a bit. Unlimited's been changed, etc. It's all great. The problem this year is the gameplay. And it's not just the gameplay in terms of like the animations and stuff that we know aren't great. It's the difficulty. This game is driving away probably thousands, maybe more per day because of how difficult this game is to play. Now, obviously, you guys know I played this game every single day last year. So did everyone else, obviously. And we're struggling. And if we're struggling, then how are people who are picking this game up day one going to be facing? They're just not going to... I've had so many people message me saying they played a couple of games. They couldn't even shoot. And then they just dipped out because it's not a fun game to play. And the problem is, there's no entry-level game mode in MyTeam right now. Last year, obviously, we had rookie difficulty as an option. This year, there's no rookie difficulty. You got weekly challenges on All-Star. You got spotlight challenges on Pro and then All-Star. You got moments challenges on Pro. You got signature challenge, which was on Pro as well. You got domination, which comes in at, what do we have here? Yeah, Pro, All-Star, Hall of Fame. Pro is the entry-level game difficulty this year, because Rookie, they've just done out with that. And the problem with that is, Pro this year is ridiculous. In these Spotlight games, in these two first Spotlight games that I played right here, the Pistons and the Rockets, in the first quarter, the Pistons missed one shot. They were 13 of 14. In the second game against Rockets, they missed one shot. They were 11 of 12. And that's against me, like, trying to play this, like, that's the entry-level game. I couldn't believe when I played that game on Pro difficulty that it was that difficult, but it was. So that is a big problem. Anyway, we'll go through it game mode by game mode. We'll try and have some structure to this here today. So we'll start with Triple Threat Offline. Now, if you guys remember last year, for the first, I don't know, maybe it was like 25 wins, maybe it was up to here. First, like, section of the game, you'd be on rookie difficulty. The more games you won, the harder it got, which makes sense. The more you play the game, the better at the game you're going to be. This year, straight away, off the bat, you come in on All-Star difficulty. And I think I've already lost like 5 or 6 games of Triple Threat Offline, maybe even more. And have I enjoyed any of these wins? Not really. You can't play this game mode without running the give and go play or just like some cheese play. You can't just play this game like pick and rolls and stuff because the AI defense are just absolutely insane. You can go in with a lower rated squad. You can go with 3 gold cards and get matched up against 3 gold cards, but they are hidden like 99 everything, Hall of Fame Intimidator, Hall of Fame clubs. It is just unbelievable. I've heard some people say that they played 5 games of Triple Threat Offline and lost them all because they just can't win in this game mode. I don't know why they went away from what it was last year. It got progressively harder. The more you won, it gave people who just coming into the game like an actual opportunity to learn how to play the game, to then be able to get the rewards later on when they're actually better at the game. But this year, it's like DBG was losing games on Triple Threat Offline. I'm losing games on Triple Threat Offline. Like, this is just absurd. I can't believe it. Like, how are people getting up to 300 wins? I don't know. I played 25 and I feel completely completely burnt out of playing this because it's just not the chill game mode that it was last year. Last year it was like 5 minutes per game. You get through it. It was fine. If you put the time in, you'd get the reward. If you didn't put the time in, you didn't get a reward. Simple as that. But the people who did put the time in, they weren't losing games, and it wasn't like they had to focus like their life depends on it, like it was a 250k qualifier. They didn't have to do that last year, but this year, that's what Triple Threat Offline is, and that is not a fun game mode. We move on to Domination, and this is another one where I think they've just completely dropped the ball. So, obviously, I've unlocked Historic Domination, but you only get that by having 33 stars in Current Domination. So, if you are a first-time player picking up this game, last year I would have suggested go into Domination to get your wins, and to get like a little bit of MT, to get yourself better at the game. This year, you come in here, Pro difficulty, All-Star difficulty, Hall of Fame difficulty on Current Domination. What are 2K thinking? Last year, I think, I might be wrong on this, it was Rookie, Pro, All-Star, I think last year. It definitely was not Hall of Fame difficulty, but I think it was Rookie, Pro, and All-Star. Hall of Fame difficulty is the hardest difficulty in the game. You're telling people who are coming into this game for the first time, if they want to actually get, and then realistically guys, there's no point in playing 1 star or 2 stars. You're just going to end up losing money on contracts, and you're not going to get anywhere because you're not getting the 3 stars that you need to actually, like, you know, progress through this. The entry level is Hall of Fame. I just can't get my head around it. And then Historic comes down. So you get Pro, All-Star, and then it's Superstar, which again makes no sense. Again, I'm bringing it back to last year. Last year, it got progressively harder. I think this was All-Star for 3 stars. I think this was probably Superstar, and then All-Time was Hall of Fame. I think that worked like that. But that was fine, because by the time you got to Hall of Fame, you'd played through the entirety of 2 dominations, so you knew what you were getting in for. But this year, it's just like, oh, jump in, here's Hall of Fame difficulty, the hardest level in the game. That is just poor. And then we move down to this section of the game. So weekly challenges, All-Star difficulty. Last year, again, I think these were on Rookie and then Pro for the longest. And then they got a little bit harder. But again, All-Star difficulty this year. And that's one thing I want to touch on. We'll get back to this in a second. But one thing I want to touch on, the difficulties this year don't correlate with how the AI play. It just, none of it makes sense. None of it makes sense. And I think this has been pointed out in like the CPU sliders and whatnot. But like I said, these 2 challenges right here, apparently on Pro, they're not on Pro. And if they are, then the Pro sliders are so far wide of the mark, it is hard to believe. Like I said, the first quarter of both these games, the CPU combined missed 2 shots. That's not right. This game right here is on All-Star difficulty, which in the current state of this MyTeam, that is the 2nd easiest difficulty in the game, because it goes Pro, All-Star, Superstar, Hall of Fame. So this is the 2nd easiest difficulty in the game. I lost this game twice, and I won it the 3rd attempt by 1 point. Shake, who basically came out of the womb playing 2K20, or not 2K20, playing 2K, because he's been on it for his whole life. He lost this game. Like, what are they trying to get us to do? Are they trying to turn us all into like competitive players, all wanting to go for the 250k tournament? I don't understand what they've done this year, but they have just eliminated any semblance. Semblance? Is that the right word? I'm struggling for words. I try and use big words and it backfires because I don't know what they mean. I can't pronounce them. They've just taken away the fun from this game. Every game now, you have to concentrate 100%. You have to sweat it out. You have to use plays. You have to use defensive settings. Bro, I don't remember using defensive settings against AI all year last year. And now you have to? And that was on All-Star? And I've heard people say about this challenge right here, I'm hearing that Clay and, the Clay, Steph and KD are just unconscious. So I'm not looking forward to playing that game. But again, it's on All-Star difficulty, which should be the 2nd lowest in the game. You're telling me that people who played this game every single day last year can't beat the 2nd lowest difficulty in the game? I'm going to say that's a lie, and there is something fundamentally wrong with the difficulty system this year. We move on to the online game modes. Oh, by the way, you can't shoot 3-pointers in any of these game modes because AI are just too strong. They are just too strong. If you go into Triple Threat Offline, you will be jacking up so many shots, and you might hit a few. If the difficulty is over Pro, GG. You don't want to take a 3. I will say, on offense, it felt like pro difficulty. No. On offense, it felt easier than Hall of Fame difficulty. But it wasn't pro levels of difficulty. Pro difficulties last year, so much different to what it is this year. But yeah, you just don't shoot threes. Surely 2K must be able to see on their back end of stats, like, the percentage of 3-point shots are being taken and the percentage that are being made. Both those percentages will be so low. Nobody's shooting threes because, you just can't, because AI are just all over you. They're just everywhere. And then that's not even getting onto, like, the actual shooting mechanics this year, which have been an absolute mess. But it brings us on to online play. And again, Triple Threat Online last year, one of the most fun modes. I had the most fun at Triple Threat Online. You'd go in, you play a game, 5 minutes, no problems too much with the gameplay in a 3v3 situation. The AI help defense was a little bit frustrating, but it was just a nice chill game mode. If you wanted to hop on, play some 2K, play some MyTeam, most of the time people went to Triple Threat Online, bearing in mind the only other option back then was Unlimited, which nobody wanted to do. This year, you can't shoot 3-pointers in this game mode. And that is, of course, just leading to people just camping in the paint, so you can't drive either. So this game mode is one that I wanted to grind so much this year, because like I said, last year I played hundreds of this game mode. And I just don't want to, because again, you can't shoot threes and you can't drive because people are just camping in the paint with the off-ball. So that's a game mode that's just flawed. This game mode, the reason I haven't played it is because it's random. The rings are completely random, and I think that's a massive flaw in itself. But I'll leave that because I haven't played in that game mode, so I don't know what the sliders are like. Unlimited, I've won 5 games. Those 2 games that I lost, I was winning, and I quit out because I wasn't enjoying it. And those 5 wins I got, wasn't really enjoying it. There's a big problem this year with Unlimited. You can go, I think someone tweeted this at me, you can go 19-0, or something like that. So you get the silver pack to begin with, and you get gold, emerald, sapphire. You can get through all 4 of those tiers, so you could be like 18 or 19-0. And your rewards are like a sapphire card. For going 19, that is, that's bad. And that's not even getting into like the actual gameplay. It's obviously, we all know it's very similar to last year. Off ball is back and stronger than ever, because obviously the shooting this year with the stick, that whole mess with that, and now the stick's not a thing, but now it's square with no meter. But then do I still press L2? Do I still get a boost if you use your stick? I just don't know. If somebody asks me how to shoot, I don't know, because I don't know how to shoot myself, because I'm not shooting 3-pointers, because in these game modes, you can't. You just can't shoot the ball in these game modes, because it's not going to go in, and you're just going to lose, and it's just going to end up being very, very frustrating. So I think the CPU this year are just so... I don't understand what 2K were doing. Basically, that's where it's coming from. I don't understand what 2K were doing when they were programming this game, and the difficulty sliders or whatever. Every CPU is just an absolute god. Every CPU is Dennis Rodman. Every CPU is Michael Jordan. Is probably like, it's just so far off the mark, and no game mode right now is fun. I logged on today and I was excited to grind out this game. I was excited to jump on, see the new agendas, which, like I said, the game mode itself is great. These agendas are awesome. There's so much to play for every single day. It's fantastic. You load up a squad, you make a squad full of players that you're going to do the challenges for, and then you jump into a game and you realise you can't do the challenges because you have to sweat the game out to actually get a win. Last year, I played all of the Kobe Bryant Spotlight Sim challenges. I did all of the OG Spotlights for the Diamond Magic Johnson and the Galaxy Opal Brian and Roy. I did all of the Steph Curry ones. I did all the Larry Bird ones. Last year, it was a case of if you put the time in, you got the reward. And that was fine. Nobody complained about that. This year, if you put the time in, not only do you have to give it 100% and sweat every single game, regardless of what game mode it is. Except Triple Threat Offline, you've got to sweat. Challenges, you've got to sweat. Domination, you've got to sweat. There's no chill game mode this year in the slightest. You could put the time in and you don't get the reward because the AI, even on All-Star difficulty, I lost this game twice. I lost this game twice. It's just unbelievable what is happening this year. That's my main gripe with the game. Obviously, there's a couple of other plays, a couple of other problems with gameplay. And obviously, we've got this big problem with the auction house at the moment, which I have mentioned several times before. But nothing has been done about it. And you can see right here, it is just filled with another user has bought this auction. That's been like that for about a week now, and that hasn't been fixed either. And the auction house is obviously like one of the most integral parts of a MyTeam game mode. And it do be broken. It do be broken. So, yeah. It's very hard to be positive about this game mode right now. Like I said, the game itself is great. I think this is fantastic. If the difficulties were sorted out, I'd be grinding this. If the difficulties were sorted out, I'd be grinding Triple Threat Offline. I'd be doing my dominations a lot happier than I have been. I'd be flying through this. I probably would have finished the first domination if I didn't have to I can't even get my words out. If I didn't have to try like I was in a 250k tournament. But because I do, it is so draining to play this game right now. It is mentally draining to try and concentrate as much as you can on winning this game. And I am somebody who, it's my job to do this. So obviously I'm going to persist through it and I'm going to keep trying. And I have played this game obviously quite a lot already. For the people, that's what I'm saying, for the people who are coming into this game, imagine this is somebody's first 2k ever. Do you think they're going to stay in this game? Do you think the audience or the player retention is going to be good on this game? Not in the slightest. 2K really need to, one, add in an entry-level game mode. They need to bring back rookie difficulty. They need to have it being progressive. I don't understand why it's not progressive. That just doesn't make any sense to me. If you have game modes that are unlocked by completing game modes like this, you unlock historic by playing current, all-time by playing on historic, etc. It just makes sense that this is the easiest, this is medium, this is the hardest. Triple Threat Offline, it makes sense that the first few games are the easiest, the last few games are the hardest. That just makes sense. And I don't understand why we've gone away from that. And obviously then we come into the fact of like the shooting and everything. I don't know what, I mean, sure they try something different with the shot stick. I know a couple of people moan and said like, well, you didn't want the same thing every year. But literally nobody wanted the shooting changer though. We wanted the gameplay changing. Nobody wanted the shooting changing. But now I think it's back to where it was last year, with square being the one to use, but I don't even know. And then the shot meter's still too small, and they said they were going to make it bigger, but they haven't. Yeah, anyway, I think I've probably covered everything I wanted to. I've tried to make this as succinct as I can. I didn't want to keep going over the same points, kind of touched on every game mode and my thoughts on it. But yeah, it's just so demoralizing at the moment when you come on to enjoy a game and you just can't, because you've got to... Sweating a game is not fun. At a comp level, that is not fun. That is for the select percentage of people that play this game at the comp level, who are mentally like capable enough of doing it. 99.9% of your player base aren't capable of doing that, and they're not going to be playing this game. If 2K don't change this, in a month's time, their numbers are going to be down, and I would be very surprised if they aren't, because people aren't going to come back to this game. Like I said, all you've got to do is look on the comment section of any of my videos, and it will be people saying, I can't win in Triple Threat Offline, I can't win in Domination, what do I do? And I have to just tell them, like, I don't know, because there's no way you can actually practice at this game to get better. If you're going to say, oh, we're just going on pro difficulty and practice this game, you will just end up with no MT, because you'll just burn through your contract. You don't get any MTs for actually playing these games. You'll just have no MT left in your club, and then obviously you can't buy players, and you'll just end up giving up. So I really hope that's not the case. Like I said, this isn't just about me saying, like, I want to change just because me personally I don't like this, and it's not because, like, oh, my numbers are down, I need more people to be watching this game. No. Like, we all knew numbers are going to be down. They always are, every single year, so it's not surprising in the slightest. This is to do with, like, the majority of people right now not enjoying a video game that we all want to play for fun. Yes, there should be competitive game modes, which is why we've got limited, and that's absolutely fine. Like I said, my only gripe with that is the fact that it's random. I think that's really bad. But there is a competitive game mode there for the people who want to be competitive. Offline gameplay should not be competitive, because it doesn't need to be. The CPU don't get anything from winning, do they? Like, they just get on their job and keep winning and winning. Like, they don't get anything from that, but we just feel like we waste our time if we can't feel comfortable playing this game mode. Like I said, it took me 3 attempts to beat an all-star difficulty spotlight challenge. That was not on all-star difficulty. That felt like it was on Hall of Fame. The sliders this year, they're just wrong, and they need to be fixed. Alright, so I've just come to the shoot-around to show you guys the sliders. So, rookie difficulty, which is still in the game, but not in any game mode that we've got. You can see there, you know, that's not high for rookie. Last year, that is the entry-level game mode. Pro, barely any different. All-star, barely any different. Superstar, barely any different. Hall of Fame, barely any difference. There is a difference of 8 between Rookie and Hall of Fame on shot success. On 3-point success, it's 58 and it goes down to 55. Between the easiest and the hardest difficulties in the game. That's not right. That is not how this game should be. And I wish we could see the CPU sliders because, like I said, their defensive capabilities are unreal. Every player will body you up. Every player will have 100 pass interception. Every player will block shots that they have no right contesting. Every player will grab rebounds over the back of you, even if you're completely in position and you've got them boxed out. And I'm not using bad players either. Like, before you even come in and say, like, we're using the bad... No. Like, I put together a defensive lineup to try and beat that All-Star challenge. Bear in mind, it's All-Star. I shouldn't have to do this. This team couldn't stop. Couldn't stop them. I lost by 17 in that second game. Perimeter defense, A+, A+, A-, B-. Obviously, like, A- post defense. That's a defensive team, and I just couldn't stop them scoring. And, like, people aren't going to keep... People are just going to give up. People aren't just going to keep trying. But anyway, I think we've covered everything, like I said, and I just wanted to show you guys those sliders right there to show you that the difficulties this year, they don't mean anything. Every game is just a sweat, regardless of what it actually says on it. So, that's where we're at. Do I think anything's going to get changed? No. Do I feel better for putting this video out there? I think so, because hopefully a couple of you guys can resonate with it, and if you are feeling the same way and you're not seeing anybody else speak out about it, don't worry. I got you. I don't know why everybody else is being so quiet on this. There's no fun in this game, and like offline grinding is such a huge part of this game, and you just can't do it without focusing like your life depends on it, and I just don't feel like that is a good recipe for a game mode in my opinion. But anyway, that's going to do it, guys. Video number 1000. We'll be back to positivity tomorrow, I promise you, because we're going to have the new cards, a new set coming out, and we'll see who that's going to be. And obviously we are on level 31 right now. We've got a couple of packs, but we'll save those for tomorrow's episode of the Nobody Spent. So that's going to do it, guys. Hope you've enjoyed. If you can. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, let me know down below. Get all thoughts down there. I want to hear what you guys have got to say. Maybe it is just a me problem, but I don't think it is right now. But anyway, that's going to do it, guys. Hope you enjoyed. As usual, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.